In this video, I want to demonstrate the integration of Entra ID with our cloud printing solution ezeep and show you how easy the onboarding process can be when these two solutions work together. So, what I need first is a new user. I have already created that user here in my Entra ID, made the necessary group assignments, and stored all the required data for the user. To onboard a user into the ezeep solution, I've already done all the work. When the user logs into their provided workspace for the first time, they are automatically imported to us, and I can start working with them. I can assign them to local groups in ezeep. Of course, I can also simply use the Entra ID group profiles to make printer assignments or specifically assign printers to them. What I've also done here is build an automation. This means all my employees who logically have the company domain in their email address are automatically added to an all ezeep users group. I have permanently assigned the any printer to this group, which is our pull printing queue. Everything that needs to be printed can be sent here first. Later, the user decides, okay, I'll go to printer A, B, or C, authenticates there, and the prints are released at the printer where they are standing. This is how I've enabled all my employees to print immediately in the office without having to wait to figure out where the employee will sit or which printers are nearby. This particularly supports shared desk models or hot desk models, which are becoming more common in today's work environment. This way, I can provide flexible printing options for the user in this new setting. What does this look like from the user's perspective? First, the user simply logs into their device as usual. This could be a Windows laptop, a MacBook, or a session like the one we're in now. We've connected to an Azure Virtual Desktop and then opened the user portal as the next step. If the required policy is activated, a user can select additional printers from the printer pool and make them available for their devices. This works best via the search function, especially when there are many printers. The right printer is quickly found by location, selected with a slider, and is automatically distributed to the devices the user is using without the need to log out, log in, or do anything else. So next, logically, we want to print something. You can go into your application, start the traditional print process, and see, for example, the any printer we assigned administratively already available. That means, from the onboarding process, since we created the user, we really didn't have to do anything further in preparation because the automation assigned the any printer automatically and enabled the user to print as soon as the Azure account was created. The printer has basic properties you can adjust: black and white, color, duplex printing, multiple pages per sheet, and so on. The paper format settings are available in 16 different languages. This dialog always adjusts to the operating system and the system language. Depending on which user logs in and what language they have set, the dialog will be displayed in that language. If I now want to use a special function on the printer, for example, from the W504 printer that I just selected, I can assign it to myself via the user portal, go back into my application, and it doesn't really matter which one I choose. Here it is already available in the session, and I can then configure and use options like binding in the finishing settings. This way, the printer and its special functions are made available through the solution. What we can also do is integrate local printers from the client device. For example, when we're working in a session like Azure Virtual Desktop, I may already have a home office printer available on my laptop and want to bring that into my Azure Virtual Desktop session. We can do that with ezeep as well. The difference is quite noticeable when you compare the native redirected printer properties from Microsoft's remote desktop app. Here, I can only change the orientation, and in the advanced settings, I can adjust the paper format and how many copies I want to print, nothing too fancy. But if I look at the same printer through ezeep, I immediately see that I have far more options. I can enable duplex printing, use the booklet feature if the printer supports it, select media, and importantly for many, choose the paper trays. If there are multiple trays, I can select all of them, switch between color and black and white, and if I want to dive even deeper, I can configure the booklet and add some other settings. I think this is a very clear and visible difference. Also, with our solution, it doesn't matter how you connect to the session. Whether you use the remote desktop app or the HTML5 client through the web, our printers are always available to the user as they are accustomed to, without having to download a PDF, open it locally, and print it again, which is a much more cumbersome process. If you'd like to try this out for yourself, just head over to our website, ezeep.com, create an account, and you can test all features fully for 14 days. After that, the account switches to a free account, which can still be used with 10 users and regular print functions. For enterprise features, you'll need to set up a paid account. That's it for today. See you next time.
Ciao.